everybody, and thank you for tuning in to cryptocurrencyaltcoins.com. If you're tuning in through YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe to the video, to the channel. If you're tuning in through the web, please make sure to bookmark the page. Now, we'll be bringing to you new info, new tutorials, new previews in the cryptocurrency space on a daily basis. And today we're going to be talking about the blockchain and the blockchain technology, which to most people sounds like a far out concept. But once they realize the technology behind it and the implementations and the potential implementations, most of them are completely mind blown, including myself. Now, in order to understand the blockchain, we need to know a little bit about the story behind Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency. Now, Bitcoin was created by a person or an entity who wished to remain anonymous. Now, this entity called itself Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'll be referring to Satoshi as a he, just to make it easier. Now, Satoshi was a true believer of a decentralized world. Like many other people, he noticed that centralized power can be cause for corruption, greed, and abuse, as can be seen in today's governments and banks and other centralized institutions around the world and throughout history. Now, unlike everybody else that saw this as a lost war versus the powers that be, Satoshi was not defeated. And he set out to start a new revolution, a new digital revolution, something that gives power back to the people, something that is decentralized, peer-to-peer, operated by no middleman, that no one can mess with, and is controlled by everybody and no one at the same time. This thing, this invention, this creation was called Bitcoin and the blockchain. Now, I forgot to mention that Satoshi was a genius programmer or encoder. I mean, and not even that was. Was, we don't know. But he definitely was a genius. Now, so the blockchain is the software, the code, and Bitcoin is the first application built on the blockchain, or the first chain of blocks to be introduced. And this chain, Satoshi built this chain to be digital currency. Now, how does the blockchain work? Like the name indicates, blockchain is encrypted linked data blocks. This technique was originally described in 1991 by a group of researchers and was intended to timestamp digital documents in order to make it impossible to backdate them or to tamper with them, something like a notary. However, it went mostly unnoticed or unused until it was adapted by Satoshi in 2009. Satoshi took this idea to the next level and put it into practice. Now, the blockchain can be considered a digital ledger with unique attributes. One of the major ones being that once information is recorded by the network, it becomes virtually impossible to change or to tamper with. Now, other key roles in the blockchain ecosystem, which we're not going to talk too much about today, because they deserve their own video. The miners, and these are people who create, who use their computing power to solve the mathematical equations in order to confirm transactions and get rewarded. Now, I'm gonna get more into detail of what I mean by mathematical equation that has to do with the proof of work, which I'm gonna be speaking on later. Um, Now, these people get rewarded by solving these mathematical equations, and they create new Bitcoin. There's only a limit of Bitcoin, a cap of Bitcoin of 21 million that's ever going to be created. I believe at this point we're about 16 and a half million already in circulation, but there's probably somewhere around 25% of Bitcoin that has been lost, or people don't remember their passcodes to their wallets, and it's just so much stuff. People probably passed away and didn't tell their loved ones that they actually own Bitcoin. So many Bitcoin have been lost in the network, but there's only going to be 21 million. Now, this is how an average mining rig looks like. There's huge mining stations all over the world. Uh, Miners have great influence in the industry, in the community, because they're the ones who create the coins. Now, you can become anybody can become a miner. All you need is your own rig. You can download the software and start mining coins. And anybody can become a node. All you have to do is download the core software, which blockchain you choose to become a node for, and be a part of that network. And you can confirm transactions right on your computer. Now, another big part of the whole blockchain ecosystem is the people, us, the rebels, the people that believe in this great new technology and believe that it's viable to conduct peer-to-peer transactions and have lower fees and cut out middlemen, basically the people that use it. Now, to understand how a digital data block works, you need to know what a digital hash is or a digital hash function. Digital hash function is a cryptographic hash function that takes an input or message and returns a fixed sized alphanumeric string known as the hash value. In simpler terms, it takes a message and encrypts it, then it spits out a bunch of words and letters and numbers, and these letters and numbers become the key or the password to get back to that message. Now, each block contains the hash of the previous block, some data, and its own hash. Now, the hash acts as a fingerprint that identifies the block and all of its data, and it's always unique. Now, the data is stored inside the block depends on the type of blockchain that you're on, which and the rules that this blockchain was coded with when it was initially created. Now, Bitcoin was meant to be the first digital currency. The data Bitcoin block contains is pretty simple. It contains from, to, and the amount. Now, once a block is created, its hash has already been calculated. Now, changing something inside that block will cause the hash to change, so it makes it impossible, if not close to impossible, to change the data in that block. Now, if the fingerprint of the block changes, it no longer is that same block. Now, the block also contains the original hash of the previous block. So if some bad apples try to change the previous block, the current block will know because it has the original hash, thus making it a chain of blocks filled with encrypted data. Now, keep in mind the first block is a bit special because it creates the first hash. Uh, we call this, or the industry calls this, the Genesis block. So is Bitcoin secure enough with hash function and proof of work? Satoshi didn't think so. So he included a third layer of security, and this layer was decentralization. Instead of using a central entity to manage the chain block, or the blockchain, excuse me, blockchain use a peer-to-peer network and everybody can join. When someone joins the network, they or their computer becomes a node. They download a copy of the blockchain and interact with each other, constantly checking that the blockchain is still in order. A copy of that block is sent to everyone on that network. Each node verifies the block to make sure it has not been tampered with, and if the block checks out, then the node will include that block into into its blockchain. All the nodes in the network create consensus. They have to come to an agreement of the blocks are valid and which are not, which also tackles the human trust issue. A person doesn't have to trust the next person. They just have to trust the code and the consensus of the network. Blocks then that are tampered with will be automatically rejected by nodes in the network. So in order to even have a chance at tampering with the blockchain, you would have to generate the hash of the current block and all the previous blocks, generate the proof of work for the current block and all the previous blocks, take control of at least 51% of the peer-to-peer network, which is virtually impossible to do. In conclusion, we here at cryptocurrency.altcoins.com believe that the blockchain technology has started a revolution and is here to stay. It's a no-brainer in many industries. There are companies that are using this technology to try to solve major problems in huge industries. And they're not only companies, there's young, intelligent people, driven people that are trying to solve real problems with this blockchain technology. We would compare this to the invention of the internet. No one knew where the internet was going to take us, and a lot of dot-com companies went bust, but underlying technology of the internet has brought people together and created immense technology growth and growth in every industry. I believe the blockchain is the new internet. I hope this article helped you better understand the blockchain. If you want to become a part of the cryptocurrency community, be sure to subscribe to our page and keep up to date with cryptocurrency news and updates. www.cryptocurrencyaltcoins.com